Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So it has finally happened. My holy grail foundation has been reformulated. So I did receive it last week, but I had the Natasha Denona one, and then this one came, but it came in late in the day, and then we were leaving the next day for Labor Day weekend, and I just haven't had a chance to film. So I am back, and what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to do kind of like what I did with Natasha Denona, just like a full face of foundation and a wear test. I'm probably gonna get 8 hours in today of wearing it. Probably not gonna wear a lot of makeup, just kind of foundation. You know, I'll probably put some mascara and stuff on, but I wanna compare it with the original. So I have my original here, which is the 4N, and then I also have the new one in 4N. However, they aren't necessarily the same shade, so they are different. The old one used to oxidize, and I had the old one in 5.5 as well, which is like my summer shade, and then sometimes I would mix the two. It's different. I actually got sent two shades. I got sent 3W and 4N. 3W I think is too light for me. It's also too warm for me. I'm warm leaning, but it is a little bit warm. On my arm, it actually looks like it's the best shade for me, but the under part of my arm is very, very white and not the same color as my face. So here is some swatches in natural sunlight. This is like a lot of foundation just so that you could really see the coverage, but I wanted to show the colors. So from left to right, that is the new formula in 3W. The second one is the old formula of the 4N. The third one is the new formula of the 4N. And then the last one is the old formula of the 5.5N. So, you know, you can see that the two in the middle are the two 4Ns. They are not the same shade. So I am going to do a half face of each, but I'm mainly just for wear test, but I'm also not going to film anything else today. So because I'm going to have like essentially two different color faces. Now I have seen a couple people have posted videos of this foundation. I will say I haven't watched any because I didn't want to watch any. And then also, I think a lot of the people that posted have done videos already weren't a fan of the original, which is fine. Like everybody has their favorite foundations. This was my holy grail. I actually didn't like it at first. Once I learned how to use it, and you know, I use it with magic cream, and I also used a primer, and I used a setting spray, it worked well. I mean, I would go to Disney in the heat and it would last all day. It wouldn't dry my face or anything. So I am now my 4N is a brand new bottle. I just got it because I had a feeling this was happening, but I'm really hopeful that this is going to be better. But I also did want to say that for me, I've done like wear tests where it's like this foundation wasn't my holy grail and I liked the new version, and then people in the comments are like, well, that was my holy grail and I hate the new version. So I'm hopeful, but just know that I loved the original formula, and that I think that also makes a difference in someone's perception of the new formula. So before I get started, let's just go ahead and talk about the foundation. It says it's a 3D matte, not flat, blurring foundation that delivers up to 24 hours of full coverage and shine control. You should never be wearing a foundation for 24 hours, but whatever. This light as air 7-in-1 foundation targets blemishes, redness, visible pores, fine lines, hyperpigmentation, just pretty much everything. And then it says it's powdered by Powder Blur AIRTech for intensified visible smoothing, blurring, and retexturizing. It's Charlotte's airbrush powder effect bottled. So it's full coverage and it's a matte finish, but it says it's a 3D matte finish. I don't know what that means. I guess that means that it's just not flat. So I am going to do a side by side. I am going to put the new one first on this side, and then I'm going to do a side by side with and without the foundation, and then I'm going to put the old version, and then we're going to do a full-on wear test for today. Now with this foundation, I did always find that the best way to apply it was with a damp sponge. So let's see, you can kind of see the viscosity here. So it's thick. This looks to be a little bit thinner than the old version, and I probably pumped a little too much since I'm only doing half my face, but gonna apply. And you can see this is darker. This is the 4N, so this is darker than the 3W. The 3W was way too light. It looks good on my arm, but not necessarily on my face. I don't know why they sent me that shade, but it's applied really nice. You know, I only put the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. That's all I have on my face, no primer. I will not be putting setting spray. I also do have the new matte setting spray, which I'm very excited about. So I will be trying that out, but not today. And I'll probably do a side-by-side test with that foundation, with that setting spray as well, with the original. Now that the original setting spray is not been discontinued. So this foundation, the original was discontinued, or it's been reformulated. The setting spray, both are still available. Okay, so here is half my face with it, and then without. It looks really nice. It looks really nice. So I can't complain. I think the color match is good. I think it might even be better than the original 4N. So let me go now. Let me make sure I get the correct 4N. And this is the old version. And now I'm going to apply it on the other half of my face. And let's see. Now, let's see. I want to actually you can kind of see. This one is thicker. Yeah, it's definitely thicker. The other one dripped a little bit more than this one. And this 4N was a little bit more leaning. I feel like the new version is actually a true neutral. So let's go ahead and compare. And I'm gonna have two different color sides faces because the 4Ns are not the same. Okay, so here is the side by side with the old formula and the new formula. So I'm going to go outside and do a side-by-side in natural sunlight with my iPhone and then come back. Okay, so here it is. Old formula, new formula. I will say the shades are different. So I can see this one is definitely lighter. The newer one is definitely lighter, and this one definitely is thicker. This one I can definitely feel is also not as flat, not as matte, which I guess is probably a good thing. I'm going to go powder, and then we're gonna start this wear test. Okay, so I just put some mascara. I did powder my face with the AIRbrush Flawless Powder, this pressed powder. Put a little mascara, and then I just put the Pillow Talk Cheek to Chic, I think that's what it's called, blush on my cheeks and my lips, and then one of the Happy Kisses. I forgot which one I used. Yeah, once I powdered, the color difference doesn't really look, and honestly, right now, don't see much of a difference. Don't see much of a difference. I really don't. So I think it's gonna have to see how the wear test is. So I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful. So fingers crossed. So I'm gonna check in, and all the updates will be on my phone, and I will be coming back later today. Fingers crossed. Okay, first check-in. Been wearing it, just about to run outside, and been wearing it for about 20 minutes. So not much to report back yet. Okay, so I've been wearing it about 2.5 hours at this point. And honestly, so I typically wear the AIRbrush Flawless foundation with a primer and a setting spray. Obviously, I'm not doing that today because I wanted to compare the two just on its own. And I did notice kind of like some more creasing here. So both look pretty good, both look pretty similar, but I think the new side actually looks a little better at this point. So 2.5 hours in. But I will continue checking back in. Okay, so it has been 5.5 hours now, and honestly, both sides pretty much look the same. So wearing pretty well. I gotta see up close. It's starting to, we have a storm coming, so it's starting to get dark. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same on both sides. It's wearing pretty well. So 5.5 hours in. Not much of a difference, which so far is good. Okay, so I have been wearing it now for 8 hours. I'm about to film the outro. I'm gonna be honest. So this is the old side, and as you can see, it's a little bit madder. Now, it's madder at first, and this one definitely has a prettier finish at first, but I am starting to see my pores definitely on this side, not as much on the old formulation side, definitely old formula, not as much. And then also as I zoom in, it's starting to break up around here. Not a big concern, because I usually use a primer, and I usually will use something that will be oil controlling around those areas. So I definitely want to do a full wear test with how I wore this foundation in the past. But I will say, if you are someone that has oils break through, that was one of the reasons why I liked the foundation, because as the oils came through, it looked more natural and it still wore well. Now, some people said it broke down and it broke down really fast. I didn't have that experience. But it's definitely lighter weight, but this side is definitely the old side is definitely looking better. So now I will say it's not a huge difference. So it's not something that it's going to be, detrimental. I still have a almost full bottle of the old formula, so I will be using that, especially when I travel. But I don't think it's bad. I actually think it's really good. And I want to do a full wear test with it on only, just by itself. And then like a really full wear test. I really haven't done too much today. But again, no primer, no setting spray or anything. So, but right now my initial thoughts is, for me, it's not as long lasting. But again, I'm still keeping out hope, and I'm still optimistic. But let me go wrap this thing up, and then I'll continue to keep testing it. Okay, I am back, and I have been wearing this now for 8.5 hours, almost 9 hours. And as you just saw with my last check-in, it's not wearing as well as the old formula. This is the old formula, and one of the things is I'm not as shiny. Now, I'm not that shiny here. So I definitely want to do a full wear test just as it, kind of just as it on its own, and really feel, because maybe this side is breaking up because I touched this side, and this is the side of my face that probably does get a lot more. So it could be, a combination of things. You're really not going to get a feel until you do a full day wear test, and probably a couple times. But one of the things I liked about this one is that as the oils broke through, yes, it was very matte at the beginning, but 2 hours in, it started to look really nice and natural. This one, because it probably looks a little bit better at first, as the day wears on, it might break down a little bit more. That's my first impression. Again, but I don't really wear, unless I'm like at a theme park and stuff, I don't wear foundations for, 10, 12, 16 hours. So I don't really need that. The times I do this, and this was my foundation for when I go to the theme park, and probably a lot of people are like, I can't believe you wear a full coverage foundation at a theme park, but I do. And, but it stayed. So I am optimistic. I'm going to keep testing it. I'm definitely going to test it over the weekend. My son's got hockey and a birthday party. So, I'm going to definitely test it, this weekend. But right now, my initial thoughts are, it's not as long lasting. It's definitely a prettier initial finish, but it might not be as long lasting as the old formula. But it's definitely lighter weight. And I'm going to continue to test it. I don't hate it, and I'm not as scared as I initially was, because I think it's very, very good. And some of the things that I loved about the old formula, most people hated. So, because I was one of the minorities that liked it. So I'm going to keep my hopes up. I still have my 4N of the old formula is almost a full bottle, so maybe I'll just save this for when I need it to last all day, and then wear this one, because I do really liked how this one looked initially. And I did like it. Probably the first 2 hours, I liked this one, a lot better. But anyway, this is $49. I do have a promo code with charlottetilbury.com. It's down below, so you can save 15% off your first order. And then I will be doing, I have the Hourglass palettes coming, and then also I will be doing just kind of some, there's been a lot of foundation, so I'll probably be doing a foundation recap, hopefully probably end of September. So with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye, everyone.